where did you all eat your fruits? And they all gave different answers, like I said, like under the water, over the trees, behind the ashram, and so many places. And then he looked at this child who had the fruit in his hand and he asked, what happened? All your friends ate fruits? How come you haven't eaten your fruit? Right? So child is very sad. He says, yeah, it's true, I haven't eaten, but the fact remains that, Krishna is always watching me, so there's no place that nobody's really watching me. So he actually understood the essence that Krishna is always watching, right? So I told the previous story. I started the previous story while I wanted to tell the story, so I just continued. Forgive me for that. So the Devatas, although they award benefits to their devotees, they're often in trouble. They're not always happy after awarding the benefits, like the stories that have been shared in the past few sessions, right? How Banasur got benediction from Lord Shiva and he waged a war against the Lord and Lord Shiva was upset, right? How Vritrasura, he was running behind Lord Shiva too and he let him make him into Bhasma, right? And how Brahma awarded Hiranyakashipu some benefit. He was not happy, but he just still gave it to him because the Lord, he knows that the Lord will protect, right? So many asuras, Ravana, so many of them have got benediction from the Devatas, and ultimately these fleeting, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he says that we run behind these things for just few moments of fleeting happiness. How long does the happiness last? Yes?
Like a few days and then it just stops.
Yeah, you get a new bicycle, you're riding it, and then after a few days, you're not happy anymore with the cycle, right? Or anything. Thank you for sharing, right? So anything that we get, the happiness is just for few days. It doesn't last very long. But for that, you have to take so much of austerity. You have to work so hard, right? You have to go through so much of pain, right? So the fact that the happiness that is bestowed on all of us by the Devatas is very short-lived, it's not permanent, goes to show that they're not the ultimate rewarding authorities, right? Because whatever Krishna gives is long-lasting. It is shashwat, it lasts forever. Like for instance, bhakti, right? He doesn't immediately give us bhakti, but when he gives us, he awards his love to us, then that lasts with us forever, right? There's a beautiful verse in the Bhagavad Gita that says that Swalpam apyasya dharmasya manashosti pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. That even a small amount of devotion service done helps us, protects us, and helps us cross over the greatest danger, right? And it always carries forward, unlike all the material wealth or material benefits that we may have, right? So the first point of the purport is that demigods cannot award anything without the sanction of the Lord. The living entities may forget this, but the Devatas, they never forget, right? The Devatas always remember, right? If you remember the Devatas, they worshipped for the Lord to appear in this world as Sri Krishna, as Swayam Bhagavan, right? They worshipped, right? Bhumi Devi and all the Devatas, they went and worshipped for the appearance of the Lord, right? Then who else, what other situation do we remember when the Devatas went and worshipped? Do you know any story? Did the Devatas call for the Lord's help? Anybody?
The Govardhan Leela? No, I think that was the Gopas and Gopis.
Churning
of the milk ocean.
Yeah.
The Devatas, and yeah, that's an interesting story, right? Where actually the Devas and the Asuras, they were all in the same moment, in the same place. They were doing the same activity. But did you notice that both of them were given two different benefits? Did they both get the same benefit?
No.
No, right? It's because the Devatas were surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord, right? Yeah. So I think this verse connects back to 6:9:22, where the Devatas, no, not 6:9:22. Anyway, the purport Prabhupada says, Samashritaye pada pallavam plavam mahat padam punya yasho murare bhavam budir vatsa padam param padam yad vipadam tatesha. So this material world is like an ocean of falls. Ocean of miseries and falls, right? But the moment we hold on to that, the lotus feet of the Lord, which is like a strong boat that can help us cross over this material. Yes, it's a strong boat. What is a strong boat? The lotus feet of the Lord, they're like a strong boat that can help us cross over this material ocean. Prabhupada, in one of the purports, he says that a dog can jump into the water, it can swim, but if a dog jumps into the ocean, and if we foolishly hold on to the tail because we don't know how to swim, we hold on to the tail of the dog, and we think we will be safe by holding on to the dog's tail. You think we'll be safe? No, right? Why? Yes, who is this new kid behind? Oh, is that your brother? No, okay. What's your name?
I'm his neighbor.
You're his neighbor. What's his name? What's your name?
Namesh. I've been
Namesh.
here before.
Okay, it's my first time seeing you, so thank you for coming and answering the question. I'm really happy that you're very attentive, right? We're all very happy that you're very attentive and answering. What is your answer?
I forgot the question.
Can someone tell him what the question is? Let's see others are paying attention or not.
Yeah, go on.
Why do you think we will not cross the ocean by holding a dog's tail?
Because if you hold the dog's tail, you and the dog are gonna drown.
Absolutely right. The dog can swim in the water, but it may not necessarily be able to cross the ocean, right? That is why it is important we hold on to a sturdy boat, right? And that is the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and that of the Guru Parampara, right? Yeah. So.
Example of they're praying to Devata, prayer.
Yeah. So we were talking about the examples of when the devatas approached the Lord for help, right? In the past classes, we'd heard how Gajendra approached the Lord for help, how even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma approached the Lord for help, right? Just wanted to, the second point in the purport in connection to this is that the Lord, He actually bestows all benediction to His pure devotees. Even though the pure devotee may not ask, He reciprocates, His reciprocation to pure devotee is different from that of a demigod. So devatas also go to Krishna for material benefit, right? And once they get the material benefit, they also get into bewilderment, right? Why? Because whenever we are hankering after any desire, what happens is that we go mad after these desires that we lose our intelligence, right? Some people say, "Na buddhi brasht ho gayi," right? They see some people running after money and they say, "Iski to buddhi brasht ho gayi," like he's lost his intelligence, right? That is a fact. Once we are after lusty desires, our intelligence is lost, whether we are living entities or we are devatas. That is why the Govardhan Leela happened. Indra lost his intelligence. He thought he was the controller. He thought he was the man of the hour. He thought he was the one who was giving the reins to all the living entities so that their crops would go and they'll get grains and they'll be able to satisfy themselves for worship, right? So to teach the devatas lesson, to teach Indra a lesson, Krishna appeared, right? Held the Govardhan mountain and gave all of his devotees a special, memorable time, right? And then Indra understood his folly, his foolishness. And then what happened? Can someone tell me? Yes, he asked forgiveness, right? So the devatas, although momentarily they may forget that Krishna is the controller, the supreme sanctioning authority, they do come back in full cycle and realize, oh, they have been foolish, they understand. But we living entities never realize. Never realize, right? We still go through that chakra. we still put ourselves in situations that will bind us to this material world. We have the knowledge, we have the association, but what are we doing? Boy, we can't blame it all on Maya, can we?
Why it is like this?
Huh?
Why it is like this?
Yeah, exactly. Why is it like that? Because we're not serious, right? Because our faith is not strong. The Devatas, that is what Prabhupada says, the Devatas are able to realize their mistake and come back because their faith in the Lord and His words is so strong. Whereas our faith in the words of the Shastras and the Lord isn't. Right? That is the reason. I think every lecture I say about faith, right? Because that is the basis of all that we do. Right?
Krishna is saying, Mama Maya Duratya.
Yes, Mama Maya Duratya is very strong. Maya Mataji, you're correct, Mataji. You're absolutely correct. But we can't blame it all on Maya because we have to build our faith. Right? Maya is just, she's strong, but she'll also help us in our devotion. So much so, okay. If we desire to come here, Maya will make arrangements for us to come here. But if we decide to chillax at home, she'll say, okay, you want to be away from Krishna, I'll provide you everything that will take you away from Krishna. Because she acts as the sieve, and she sieves only the best jivas to go towards Krishna. Right? She tests us every single moment. Right? There's not a moment that she's, no, whether we be a devotee, a neophyte, a madhyama adhikari, or there are different stages of bhakti, right? Whether we are just beginning the bhakti or it's okay, no, it's okay, thank you. We're in the beginning stage, or we are progressing, or we've reached the advanced. Well, the case of Uttama Adhikaris is completely different, but while we are progressing, we'll be constantly tested by Maya again and again and again. And how can we cross this? Well, there's one more point in this purport that we want to discuss, but this is very important. How can we cross how can we get off the clutches of Maya? Krishna says. What does he say?
Focus on me, pure devotee.
What does Krishna say?
Surrender.
Surrender unto me, right? Focus on me, like Prabhu said. Surrender unto me, right? Maya is favorable to those who are surrendered to Krishna. For those with all their hearts, they desire only to serve Krishna and nothing but service to Krishna. No, not running after name, fame, glory, adoration, nothing. Like Mahaprabhu said, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamai. Absolutely, right? We studied in the 19th text of the Gita that the pure devotees are very, very rare. Why? Because people with faith on the Lord are very, very rare, right? So we have to build our faith, and I believe Srila Rupa Goswami says that, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, and all of the acharyas time and again they say that to be able to build our faith, we have to be humble, right? If humility and faith, they go hand in hand, right? If we are not humble, our faith will not grow in the Lord, right? The moment we think we are controllers, you think our faith in Krishna will grow? No, right? The moment we surrender to Krishna and say, Krishna, I'm no one. I'm just a stone at your lotus feet, right? You are my master. Just, like Prabhupada said, Prabhupada landed in the Boston Harbor and he said, oh Lord, make me dance as you will. I'm just a puppet in your hands, right? To think that, obviously it will take a long time. They say fake it till you make it, right? In devotional service, you can't really fake it all the time. But in the beginning, maybe you can try that. Have that desire as Srila Prabhupada had or Bhaktivinoda Thakur had, to be always in the constant service of the Lord and always just repeat those lines of Prabhupada. Prabhupada said this, oh Lord, just help me be a servant in your hands. And after you practice for a few days and you keep saying this to the Lord will give you the faith. The Lord will build the humility. We are not really doing anything here, right? All that we are doing is endeavoring, right? The only thing that we are doing is endeavoring. What is endeavoring? Desiring, trying, right? Attempting, working towards something, right? We live as living entities. We can't be without doing anything.
Even having full endeavor, we are unable to reach on time to Aarti.
Yeah. Okay.
Maya. Again, blame it to Maya.
No, I mean.
Oh, me?
Okay. So.
No, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah. So that is a point to be discussed much later in life. It's just that how serious are we, right? When we are in a group, when we are in a family, when we are in a congregation, not everybody's endeavor is the same, not everybody's faith is the same, not everybody's earnestness to do service is the same, not everybody has that Tivra Bhakti, right? We all have varying levels, right? At certain time you can, and then when it is not possible, you just leave it in the hands of the Lord, right? So, faith and what go hand in hand? Humility, right? Yes, we will learn in our future sessions how we can build these qualities, but yes, the most important thing that can help us build humility is the process of chanting, right? And the verse of the Shikshashtaka say that Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. There are 4 things. What are the 4 things? Let me ask those devotees who are sitting here. What are the 4 things mentioned in this verse?
Repeat the words, please.
Trinad, okay, the backbenchers, last two were quiet. Trinad api sunichena, taror api sahishnuna, amanina, manadena, kirtaniya, sadahari.
Tarovar means tree.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Like tree,
yes.
you should have sahasranata means
Yeah,
like something.
yes,
of-
tolerance, yeah. Tree tolerant, yes.
Yes.
Like the grass.
Like a grass, be humble, yes. What's the other thing? Yes, Mataji. Don't expect any respect for yourself. Just give respect to others.
Yes.
By following these 4, you will develop that lubrication called humility that will help us.
Give respect to others, automatically you also get the respect.
Yes, true. Right? Without expecting any respect, just give respect to others. It is difficult, my dear audience. They say my dear devotees. I'm not qualified to say that. It is difficult to practice the quality of humility, but try. Try as much as you can. And when you try, in Tamil there is a saying, Adimel Adi Vaital,
Exactly.
Ammiyam Nagaram. That means, Ammi is actually a mortar pestle thing, a huge stone which cannot be really moved by one person. You need help, right? But they say if you keep hitting the ammi, which is like a stone slab, that'll also move. That'll also start moving, right? So.
You said dear devotees, I remembered Peetambara.
No, I said I'm not qualified to say dear devotees. I said audience, right? Okay, so 2 points. The devatas do not sanction anything without the sanction of the Supreme Absolute Truth. The devatas, the living entities may forget that Krishna is the ultimate controller, but the devatas always remember, right? Then we learned a thing that the devatas always run and pray to the Lord for help, right? Just as we living entities run to either the Lord or the devatas for help, the devatas always go to only one person, Vishnu, right? So we know that people whom we are worshipping are actually worshipping someone else. So why do we have to, why not just worship the person whom they're worshipping, right? It's something for us to think, right? Like Mataji and Prabhu said in the previous 2 classes, the devatas are very happy when we worship Krishna. The Prachetas approached the Lord Shiva, and the Lord was very happy to bless them, be in their association, right? So the devatas are happy when we worship the Lord, but it so happened when Gajendra worshipped Shri Krishna for help. Who's Gajendra? Gajendra. Children, who's Gajendra? Do you remember?
Previous birth.
Yes. Yes.
Senior
Vibha, yes. Who's Gajendra? The elephant. Oh, what happened to the elephant? He was a king, King Indrajumna. And what happened to him? He was cursed to become an elephant. Okay, we're cutting the story short. And then what did he do? What happened to him? a crocodile attacked him. Yes, Akshara, what happened after that? Exactly. He remembered his past life and prayed to the Lord to help him, right? But while he was praying, apparently, he did not call out the Lord by any name. He said, "O Supreme Person, whosoever you are, please come and help me." And when he came, apparently the Devatas were upset that they were not called for help, right? That slight feeling of being over, the order suppliers. Why isn't he calling us? Why is he calling Lord Vishnu, right?
Indra's problem of
It's same, right? Everyone has the same problem because we think we are the controllers. If it can happen to the demigod, it can happen to us. That is why sadhu sangha is important. When you're in the association of devotees, when you're chanting the holy names, it is likely to happen less. It's less likely to happen because we're always constantly reminding one another who the controlling person is, who is the person who's the source and cause of everything, right? The last point from this verse today is, for the living entity who desires to return to Godhead, material desires are impediment. A pure devotee of the Lord is therefore not awarded material benefits desired by less intelligent living entities. So, a pure devotee of the Lord, or any devotee of the Lord who desires to go back home, back to Godhead and serve the Lord, is not awarded material benefits. Which just simply means that Krishna provides us everything that is only suitable for us to progress in our bhakti. We may ask the Lord stuff, right? He knows what is best for us. We have our own plans, but the Lord has a different plan for us, right? They say, man proposes, God disposes. A saying that we've always heard, right? If something is really for our well-being, Krishna provides us that. If we haven't got it, it means it is not for our good, right? And so it says, Prabhupada says here that for a devotee, Krishna does not give any benefit that will keep him back in this material world, shackle up, right? He wants the devotee to progress, right? So if something is not given to us, it means it's just simply not in our bag of,
It's not in our quota.
it's not in our quota, as Ishopanishad says, right? So can someone tell me the 3 points that we covered today?
Demigods can't provide anything without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of God.
True.